In the previous demonstrations, we have posted different sales prepayment invoices. Now let's take a look at what happens to these invoices when we make changes to our sales order. Because customers can, for example, request to add some additional items to their order. That means that the order value changes, but also the prepayment amount of the sales order will change. By adding items, we will make an increase, and thus that will require the creation of an additional sales prepayment invoice. As you can see in a minute, it will be very easy to do so, and in fact you can create as many sales prepayment invoices for one order as you want. On the other hand, it's also possible that a customer wants to cancel the order. As a consequence, you will also have to cancel, correct, the already made sales invoice by creating a prepayment credit memo. So let's demonstrate this with a specific example, and for that there was already a sales order created for tray research. The customer has ordered a few guest chairs, and for this item there was a requirement of a 20% prepayment, as you can see here on the sales line. That sales prepayment invoice was also already created. You can see that in two ways. First of all, you can go and look at the related prepayment and prepayment invoice, where, as you have already seen, you have an overview of all related prepayment invoices. You can also see that on the sales order line, because not only do we have there the prepayment percentage, we also have the prepayment amount that was calculated, and I have added an additional column previous to the first demonstration, is that we have also the prepayment amount that was already invoiced. So in this case, the calculated prepayment amount is equal to the already invoiced prepayment amount. As a first example, let's assume that our customer requests to add a little bit more of this furniture and increasing the quantity from 10 items to 15 items. Now, before I can change the quantity, I have to first reopen our sales order. There we go. Now we can change the quantity, and as you can see, the 20% prepayment amount is being recalculated, and 20% for this particular chairs would mean a prepayment amount of 578.40 local currency. That means that we are creating a difference between the already invoiced amount and the amount that should be invoiced. So we will need to create a second prepayment invoice. You can do that in the same way as you did the first prepayment invoice, by going to Actions, Posting, Prepayment, and Post Prepayment Invoice. Confirm by clicking Yes, and the second invoice was created. Now you can see that the two columns have the same value again, and a second invoice was created for the difference between the two columns. Also, if you go to the related information, you will see that there are now two sales invoices. In our second example, you will see that it's also possible that a customer cancels a sales order. Without prepayments, we would generally just go to the sales order, and we could simply reopen the sales order and delete by using here the delete button on top of the page. However, because there are prepayment requirements, you will not be able to do so, and you will get a blocking error message. Saying that you must first remove, of course, the prepayments that were already made. You can create a prepayment credit memo, also in the same way as you do for an invoice, by going to Actions, Posting, Prepayment, and Post Prepayment Credit Memo. Again, you need to confirm by clicking Yes, and the credit memo was now created. If you look at the line, you will see that the total invoiced amount is now set to 0. So for the two previous prepayment sales invoices, there was now one credit memo created. You can see that also through the related information by going to prepayment and prepayment credit memos. This now means that there is no more prepayment requirement for this particular order. So if we now reopen the sales order, it is possible to completely delete the sales order.